Hey guys, tonight we're going to talk about identifying the elements of a plot diagram along with conflict. These are going to be your notes. What you see on the PowerPoint is what you put in your notes, which will then go in the reading section of your binder. Plot. Plot is the organized pattern or sequence of events that make up a story. This is basically just what is going on in the story.
Alright, so the author may choose to arrange the story in a series of events in many different ways, two of which are chronological, which basically means from beginning to end, everything in order as it happens, and in media res, where you get dropped right in the middle of the action.
That's my favorite. I think it's easier to get into a book when they drop you in the middle of a conversation, in the middle of some kind of fight or argument. Alright, so we have exposition. Here my little man walks. Okay, this is just at the beginning of the story. Here's where you learn the characters, you learn the setting, you learn what the conflict is.
Alright, rising action is where the where the problem is introduced. And a story without a problem isn't really a story.
Now we have the climax. The climax is the turning point in the story. This is the point where your character can no longer go on the same path he's going. He's at a fork in the road, he's got to go left, he's got to go right, but he can't keep going the same way. He's face to face with his conflict, and in some way that main character is going to change.
Alright, falling action. All the loose ends of the plot are tied up. The conflicts are being resolved. So, you're distracting me. The problem is solved. We know what happens in the story.
Okay, now we have the resolution. My little man here is at the end. The story comes to an ending. It's sometimes happy, it's sometimes sad, it's sometimes great, and it sometimes ruins the story period. Alright, plot diagram.
So this is everything put together. So we have the exposition, the rising action, the climax, falling action, exposition. Oh,
the conclusion.
Conclusion.
Alright. That's it. That's it for plot diagram. However, now we need to learn what conflict is.
Alright. Conflict is a clash between opposing forces, usually forcing the main character into a dilemma.
Conflict. There are 4 types of conflict. The first type is individual. The individual conflict is when you have one person in opposition or in some kind of problem, dilemma with another.
Alright, so for all you Harry Potter fans, we have Voldemort versus Harry Potter. Voldemort wants to control the wizarding world, and so he must kill Harry Potter in order to do so. Well, Harry has to fight back for his life. So, individual conflict.
Social conflict. Social conflict is one person versus a larger group.
Alright, so we've got Will Smith and iRobot. It's Will Smith's character versus the robots who are trying to take over the world.
Natural conflict. Natural conflict typically deals with some form of nature, obviously, and depending on one's perspective, it could be a conflict with God.
Alright, so this is Tom Hanks in Castaway, and he must survive the odds on a deserted island.
And befriends Wilson the beach ball, the volleyball. I think you didn't see that. Great movie. So, when you have a conflict with yourself, it's internal. It's something that you have to face.
So it deals a lot with your conscience. So for example, in Casablanca, and this is Ingrid Bergman and Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman's character has to decide who she's going to stay with. And it's a very tough decision.
Alright. How a character is viewed through conflict. There's a protagonist and an antagonist.
The protagonist is the central character in the central conflict. So the antagonist is whoever or whatever opposes a protagonist. So it's the main character versus a negative character.
And the protagonist tends to be the good guy, and the antagonist is the bad guy.
Alright, that's it.
Good night.